Hello, my name is Sekhet. We're playing here in the vanilla world, and yeah, I did migrate it successfully from the old computer. We got some shaders going now, and it looks quite fancy. I have a giant, disgusting tower behind me. What is this giant, disgusting tower? Well, I've been threatening to make a creeper farm, so I've been running some experiments, and I've learned a few things. First of all, you can't have your spawning platform as close to the campfires as you used to be able to have. I had one like right in here, and it was like totally lit up with the new lighting mechanics. So basically what we're doing, standard creeper farm. It's not going to be the most efficient in the world, but I have lit up a lot of these caves, so it shouldn't be too bad. Most of you who are watching this channel have probably seen creeper farms. And that's not this episode. I want to do something a little different. I want to do something I don't normally do, which in this case is talk about Minecraft and a little bit about myself and the way I interact with the game and have interacted with the game over the years that I've been playing. Now, places like YouTube and other social networks and similar reward engagement, right? And it doesn't matter what kind of engagement it is. A comment is a comment. Like and dislike. There is actually some evidence that dislikes cause YouTube to recommend a video more than likes. I don't know if that's true. But comments, on the other hand, a comment's a comment, right? People see a video that has a title that causes a negative reaction in them. Like, Minecraft stinks, or whatever people say. Or, this group of people is bad, or who knows. I try not to watch a lot of that stuff, but people, see, I try not to, but I do. I have lately I've been watching many videos that have been getting recommended to me about how, everything since beta 1.7 is terrible. And I disagree. I know that will shock you. Based on the title of my video, or if you've watched any of my videos, I disagree. Now, but before I get into what I think about that, the reason that's so prevalent is because people will watch it. And people will engage with it, people will leave comments, and YouTube rewards that by then recommending the video. So whether the people making those videos are sincere or not, and I think it's a little column A, little column B, one cannot fault them for knowing how to work that algorithm. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with liking beta Minecraft. I liked beta Minecraft. I played beta Minecraft, like many people. A surprising number of people I found while I was looking things up and thinking about making this video, which, as of tonight, at least, I have started and stopped, I think, 4 times over the past 3 weeks. I feel like I'm not saying what I'm trying to say right, but I'm going to try. This will be the last attempt, one way or the other. Beta Minecraft is fun, okay? It's not only fun. Not only do a lot of people still play it, there's still an active modding scene for it. So, it's all those people aren't wrong, okay? I'm not. I would never try to say that they are, because they're not. However, there seems to be and this has always been true, this is nothing new, but there seems to be a large number lately of videos that are getting recommended to me for, by the algorithm that, like, modern Minecraft is terrible. Minecraft is not perfect. Wasn't perfect in beta. It's not perfect now. That's fine. Minecraft continues, or at least the team attempts to continue, to improve it. I'm not here to say they've never stumbled. I'm certainly not here to never say they've done unpopular things. They've done a lot of unpopular things. But generally speaking first, and then specifically speaking later, there are things about Minecraft and the way the game has been developed over the course of the past 15 years, and what that has meant for the game and for the industry that are pretty amazing. Now, when Minecraft really first came out, the dominant model for a successful video game was World of Warcraft, and there are all kinds of differences between World of Warcraft and Minecraft. One of them is... Hello. Why did you do that? You're not supposed to... Oh, I forgot the carpets. Did I forget? I did not forget the carpets. What are these guys doing? Am I just too slow? I think I'm just too slow. Had no end of trouble with these snow golems. There we go. Now you're stuck. Sucker. Another example from the time, which was very successful and is still successful, is The Sims. The Sims model, I honestly think, although it's a good game, I'll give them that. The Sims model, I think, is just straight up evil. They make you buy like 40 expansions to have all the content. They all cost as much as the base game. And then they come out with another one. And you do it all over again. If you were to try to get everything for The Sims, just the modern one, you'd be dumping like $500. And that is not the case with Minecraft. You may argue about the quality of the updates, but the fact that the updates are free, I think, is a fact that should not be diminished. Now, when I started playing, it was pretty early on. It was like late alpha. It's not because I'm cool or or on the edge of, what the greatest video games are. None of that is true. I just happened to listen to a podcast at the time where they mentioned the game and talked about it for a little bit. I thought, that sounds cool, so I checked it out. And I played it, a little bit now and again as it, went into beta and then late beta, and it was fun. There are things I really liked about that period that are now not hello. That are now not things anymore. But that doesn't mean that the loss of those things means the game is bad. Now, first of all, there have been no end of videos made on the subject that you can't go home again. Like, none of us will ever have the experience of playing Minecraft for the first time again. That's not a thing. So, even me and my memory problems, like, it's, you can't go home again. That's not really what I'm talking about. What am I talking about? So, even then, the game had its fair share of they ruined it. Like, this ruined it, that ruined it. Pretty much every change that was made to the game. I guess we're getting skeletons up there after all. Every change that was made to the game was met with some level of negativity. There's a creeper. A couple of them. We must have just missed a spot with trapdoors or something. We'll have to keep our eyes open. But, there's our proof of concept anyway. It works. It actually works. But anyway, like, there have always been complaints about the game, but I feel like the pace of it is picked up. Like, okay, this is gonna be fine. You don't really have to mess with it that much. Would like to know where that skeleton came from. Anyway, don't get distracted. Now, I kind of am the opposite. While there have been things that have happened to the game over the years that I could have done without, I would say that on balance, Minecraft as it stands is good. I'm pretty happy with where it's at and where it seems to be going. Pick all this stuff up. I'm adding some ice down here because this does not... The mobs don't move really as fast as they could, just being pushed by the water alone. Let's see, we'll do a little more. Well, one of the things that I miss, for instance, are the way the swamps used to be. The swamps used to have this beautiful, bright green grass, and they were a cool place to build. And then 1.0 came out, and they were more like the swamps we know today. Now, I'm not going to say the swamps are bad, but I did, even though I would have had to anyway when the game updated to 1.0, I was definitely ready to abandon my little hut in the swamp. That actually reminds me of another thing that's been good about Minecraft throughout the years, is that, let's see where I messed up, is that when the official version of the game, 1.0, came out, worlds broke. They broke a few times before that, but they've never broken really since. Things in worlds have broken due to, updates to the code, to mechanics. I'm reminded especially of when water mechanics changed and broke all my mob farms. That's okay, that happens. That's a living game. But they haven't really broken since then, and in fact, as time has passed, things that used to be problems about updates. Yep, this is where the skeleton spawned. That used to be, oh, hello. That's an issue. Anyway, it used to be that when World Gen changed, you'd get these hard walls on your in your worlds. Big walls of stone or whatnot, or big dips suddenly, just straight lines down right on the chunk border, where new chunks were loaded. That doesn't happen anymore. That is a very good thing. Now, 1.0 is, of course, famous for, adding the end. And that is not to be diminished. Okay, this side's fine. This side's fine. That's hardly all it added, though. It was 1.0 that added enchanting, brewing, what else? Repairing armors and tools, animal breeding. In a hardcore mode, you could throw ender pearls now. There are also a lot of texture changes which I think may not necessarily get the credit they deserve. A lot of the texture changes were really good. And that's another thing. Like, I think the game genuinely looks a lot better now than it did in beta. And was that the only place that... No, there's another problem over here. Alright, I'm better off doing this from the inside, clearly. But yeah, let the look of the game back in the day, while it had a certain charm to it, there were not just things that, you know, I didn't like and thought were kind of ugly. There were things about some of the old textures that, at least for me, made the game hard to play. Like, the old Netherrack textures. I didn't know, like, I could, if I was mining in the Nether, I could lose track of which way was up, okay? That's not a thing that happens so much anymore. There have actually been a lot of texture changes over the years. I think the change between 1.13 and 1.14 was a little jarring for people, but that was, you know, that wasn't the first time. So as much as I would have liked to have kept the bright green grassy swamps, all the other changes, the ones I mentioned anyway, like, you know, enchanting, that's such a huge part of the game. Now, it's hard to picture the game without it, but, you know, there was no such thing in beta. You were just running through stone tools when you were doing something like clearing ground, because that was the efficient way to deal with it. I see exactly what I didn't want to happen, having happened. The skeleton or something, probably skeleton, shot my my snow golem, because I forgot to finish putting the trapdoors in here. Now, well, one of the things that I see people complain a lot about are the updates and the scale of them. I feel like what people must be talking about are the content aspects of the updates. Because it's been my experience, at least, that the updates that are made to the game have a lot of performance improvements associated with them. And I really appreciate those. Not, you know, I have a nice computer now, but I didn't always. And when I started to play the game, like in beta, I had a real hard time staying alive, even like mining. Like, I used to have like, you know, little pools of water to jump in up and down my branch mine because I was so bad at dodging the lava that would come out of the pockets. But, you know, as updates came out, that was assuaged. I'll have to make another, I need another pumpkin. Crying out loud. Like take 1.1 though. Like, content-wise, that was not a huge update. You got bow enchantments. Sheep could regrow wool. That was, you know, kind of a big deal. Still a big deal. What else? Like, they added beaches. There were mob spawn eggs in the creative menu. Apples dropped from oak leaves, so you could get apples legitimately. People complain about that. People really do complain. Just about any change. Can you imagine being mad about apples? There are people who are mad about apples. Could I put the pumpkin down first and then shear it? For science, people. You sure can. Don't go anywhere. Alright. Seal this up. Head on down. That was a pretty small update. Most people didn't complain about it. Most of us didn't have any expectations. We knew the game would continue to get updated, but we didn't know, there would be, new mechanics being added, if we were casual players, and just kind of played the game without being on the forums or watching YouTube or what have you. Now, content-wise, at least, back in the day, mileage really varied. That wasn't a problem. Still not a problem. But, unless you were keeping up, you never really knew what you were gonna get. So it was almost always a pleasant surprise. These days I watch the updated videos, so I play snapshots and whatnot. I don't get surprised by a lot of content again. Some has been surprising. That autocrafter? That's surprising. But, we started, getting more options. And that's a double-edged sword. I think on balance, it's a good thing. Until 1.2. Along comes 1.2 pretty quickly, if memory serves. All of a sudden, we finally got different colored planks. I think we had the spruce and the birch trees, but you just got wood from them. Which, whatever. It's not like that. There we go. It's not like that anymore. But we also got jungles in the jungle wood. And around then is when I started actually getting more interested in building. There were a couple new sandstone types added, and the possibilities started to open up. Two things that happen when you get more choices. First of all, you have more choices. And secondly, it can become more difficult to make a decision. And, I'm as affected by both aspects of it as anybody else is. I get option paralysis in modern Minecraft. In fact, this whole series has been an exercise in option paralysis so far. But I think it needs to be clear that I'm having fun playing vanilla Minecraft. Some 14 years later after I started. Another thing that got added in 1.2 is the first structure I ever saw in the game, the desert well. You can see whole videos about how terrible the desert well is. Oh, it's the most useless. I mean, not so much anymore since they added the all bells and whistles to it with the archaeology. But, maybe still a little bit. You can still see the videos. They're still up there. The most useless structure in Minecraft. Doody-doody-doo. But when I first saw it, it was like, whoa, what's that? There's somebody here? And, for one of the first times, really, for me at least, because I hadn't seen a village at that point, the world kind of felt like maybe there was somebody else in it besides, just me. It was a lonely world back in the day. Some people really like that. Some people still like it. That's totally legitimate. I am thinking about the next mod pack I make, or the one after that, anyway, to be a sort of a wasteland recovery. I know it's the new hotness right now, but I love the old regrowth, like many people. We can leave all that in there. And I would like to try to make something along those lines, where you're the only living thing left in the world, except for a bunch of undead, which are undead. They're not living, so not accept. You're the only living thing. Also, there's a bunch of I'm getting distracted again. I liked finding the temple, the well. The temple wasn't in yet. Like every time I saw that I see a temple now, we're gonna do this without the chain. Eventually. I am reminded of that first time I saw it, and that the feeling isn't quite the same intensity, but I remember when, and it's a good memory. Now, at that point, while I was playing the game quite a bit, it was one of a number of games that were kind of in rotation. Like, I played a lot of different games. But as time passed and the game continued to get updated, I found myself playing Minecraft, more and more. I started to get really into it, and still really into it today. I started watching videos on the YouTube, trying to figure out things I didn't know about it, how things worked. Well, 1.3 came out. That was an update that I liked, but also had something in it that I got startled by, which was, that's when they introduced emeralds and emerald ore, right? And I remember finding my first emerald ore, and I only got one emerald out of it, and I was like, ooh, this must be really important. This must make really good weapons. Yeah, no, it did not make really good weapons. That's okay. Let's turn our shaders back on. Yeah. But they also added the desert temple, and I sure remember finding my first desert temple. For a long time, that was where I would get my wool for my first bed. I could never find a sheep to save my life back in the day, but I could always find... where did I see those caves? Anyway, for those of you who don't know, this was before the dyed terracottas, even before dyed hardened clay, if you remember that. So all the colored parts, the non-sandstone parts of the desert temple were made of wool. I used to be able to keep track of how many desert temples I'd been to by how many pieces of blue wool I had. Ah, yes. I missed this spot. So we also got at 1.3 the different wood types for slabs and stairs. It was just, let's get this going. At that point, it was still just, wooden slabs, wooden stairs. And those opened up a whole new world of possibilities with building. We got some tripwire hooks, which I understand is a thing that some people use. No, I'm kidding. The tripwire hooks are cool. I even like them decoratively. I use them. And, a couple other things. What else did we get? We got directional log placement, finally, which, again, opened up a new range of possibilities and challenges for building. Good things, at least in my opinion. I know. Oh, dear. Don't get me. Hey! I gotta remember I'm not indestructible. This is vanilla. It opened up possibilities, which for me was a good thing. Because with possibility, comes challenge. And I like challenge. The next update was the very scary update. And, I don't think that update at this point at least has many detractors. We got the wither, which, everybody likes a wither fight. We got, different configurations of nether brick. I think that's when we got the stairs and slabs. A couple new potions. There are a bunch of other things. Zombies and skeletons could start spawning with equipment. We got golden carrots, flower pots, cobblestone walls, item frames, mob heads. The wither skeletons finally started dropping their little square heads. We've been collecting them ever since. I'm not going to go through every update. I think you get the point. As things are added to the game, things change. Not everybody likes change. But I will tell you, one thing, which is that in life, change is the only thing you can count on. It's like things will change. That's the nature of life and being alive. And as long as Minecraft is changing, it's still alive, video games didn't used to change much over time. You were lucky if they worked. And if they didn't work, you were lucky if they ever got fixed. To this day, that's a zombie villager. To this day, the time travel in Might and Magic 2 from 1980 whatever still doesn't work. It's always been bugged. It's never gonna get fixed. And I'm not gonna say we liked it that way because, we didn't. Now, over the years, they have broken some things. The overwhelming majority of which has been fixed. The one that sticks with me is 1.8, where all the mobs forgot how to swim, and the creepers gained, achieved a new level of antisocial behavior when they decided that the thing to do with players was to jump on top of their heads from great heights in ravines. Heights enough to kill them, but they'd blow up on your head. And, there's another dive bomb creeper. Fantastic. But, that's fixed. So are a lot of other things that, got broken over the years. And that's really good. There's... I don't know how anybody could disagree that there is at least in Mojang a sense that they want the game to work and to be fun. I think they're doing okay with that. Now, not everything, though. I'm not gonna lie. You do have to kind of take the bad with the good. There has been some bad. I don't lay it all on Mojang's feet, though. One of the aspects that people complain about the modern game is something I actually agree with, and that's the mob vote. Not so much the results of the mob vote, but, hello, creepers. But the mob vote itself, if memory serves, the mob vote came in when was it? Was it after? Yeah. It was either right around or after the Microsoft acquisition. And the mob vote is something I don't like. For one thing, it feels to me like Microsoft's idea of what community engagement is. And one thing that Minecraft has never lacked is an engaged community. We've always got something to say. No shortage of opinions. Like, here's a change. You remember when these guys didn't used to burn up in the sun? Like, oh, the baby zombies ended many a hardcore run. Yeah, that used to be a real problem. That was something that was wrong with the game that got fixed. But back to the mob vote. I don't want to dwell for too long on it. I feel like having us vote on a selection of mobs is not a great way to make a video game. And I don't think it's Mojang's fault. I think this is something that Microsoft wants them to do. Because tell me it doesn't sound like a Microsoft thing. Like, tell me that it's not like, like, oh, we need your attention all the time. Do this, do that, do the other thing. Like on Windows 11, which I don't like, where it's like the pop-ups are just like malware level of obnoxious. Like, just pop-ups on your desktop. I have found a solution for that, but I probably shouldn't say what it is. It's not that bad. It's not bad at all. I'm just kidding. Honest. But, like the mobs forgetting how to swim was a problem in 1.8. They fixed it. A lot of people still play 1.8. I watched a video from somebody who started playing 1.8 again after all these years and had a really good time. I had a really good time in 1.8. Like, for all I'm kind of razzing it for the problems with the mob AI, if memory serves, it was 1.8 where we got fences and it's our first piece of emerald ore. We got in maybe some of the deep slate, maybe not. I don't know. Now, at the time of 1.7, 1.8, both of which are classic versions of the game, most of you might not know about this because you might have never seen the message. But I was getting a message when I loaded the game. Warning. This is an old computer. Minecraft will soon require OpenGL. And I didn't have a computer that could do OpenGL. So 1.9, I think, was the first version that I had a lot of trouble running. So I was also watching a lot of YouTube, and I kind of become introduced to modded Minecraft. That's when I really started playing modded, which is, still most of what I play today, and the main focus of the channel. Modded Minecraft open all kinds of possibilities for me in terms of playing. But as the years went by, a couple things happened. The Microsoft acquisition happened, which I was very nervous about. And another thing that happened was the game didn't get updated for 2 years. And, it kind of sat on 1.12, I felt like, for a long time. I was mostly playing mod packs for 1.6 and 1.7. First, I was only playing very simple packs because that was all my computer could run. And I got a better computer, and I started being able to play stuff like, Infinity Evolved, which kept me busy, I would say, for 2 years, probably. Probably those whole 2 years. I've played other stuff, but, Infinity Evolved is you ever want to get into 1.7 modded, play Infinity Evolved, and if you're brave, play the expert mode. You will get a great idea of what Minecraft was like in one of its modded golden ages. It's still fun. It stands up. Give it a shot. We may even we did a little dip our toe in it series years ago, and I got distracted and forgot, and then stopped playing. We may go back there and because I really like that pack. It's fun. But I'm running like 4 series right now, so it's not going to be immediate. But anyway, at some point, the trailer for the aquatic update dropped. And friends, I'm here to tell you that Minecraft's oceans back in the day are nothing but sand and squid. Nothing but sand and squid. They were, you got, I think, the ocean monuments in 1.7. And that was kind of all that was going on in the oceans. There was no water logging, so if you tried to really do fancy builds in them, they ended up looking weird. And I was looking at the oceans looked great, okay? We got fish. We got, actual fish in the ocean that weren't just named fish, which used to be a thing. All those blue things. I still see the textures in mod packs sometimes. The old fish texture cracks me up. It's a hilarious texture. But, hilarious as it was. Well, I'm lying. No, I don't have any nostalgia for the old fish texture. It didn't look like something I wanted to eat. Now, at that time, I had been working, recovering from a dark period, which I'm not going to go into too much, but the long story short version of it, long story short, I had a hard time finding work where I was in the city I was in. And so I took a huge roll of the dice, because I will tell you, being homeless in San Francisco is a really bad thing to have happen to you. And whereas being homeless where I am now was something that I thought I would have a reasonable chance of recovering from. And I'll never know about the first part, but I was definitely right about the second part. It was a long time ago. We're talking 12 years ago, so, don't worry about me. I'm doing okay. But I will tell you, being that poor has an effect on you, and it lasts. The thing about it that lasts is the sort of specter of it is always there. Like, oh no, I shouldn't spend this money because what if? And what actually kind of started cracking that, which is the point of the story, was that trailer for the aquatic update. I was like, you know what? I'm doing okay now. I'm not in any immediate danger of being out on the street. I know where my next meal's coming from. Maybe I should finally buy a computer that's a little better. And, I still didn't buy an awesome one. But I bought one that could play modern Minecraft, and even, once we got into 1.14, modern modded Minecraft. And that's the performance updates, the under the hood stuff I was talking about. That computer could play, like, Valhelsia 2, the 1.14 Valhelsia, I think it was. Well, it was the 1.14 Valhelsia, definitely. I don't know that it was Valhelsia 2. Can't remember. But, it ran it just fine. And so I was playing that, and just really impressed with where both the modded scene had gone. There were all these cool new mods. I missed some of the classics like Buildcraft and Forestry and stuff. Forestry is, of course, now out for 1.16, and we may continue to see it updated. Wasn't around at that point, but there were all this new stuff that was so cool. And the same was true of the vanilla game. I started playing with a friend. It's the first time I'd ever played multiplayer. I was showing him how the game worked, and I had a great time playing vanilla Minecraft. We had pillagers. We had all kinds of things going on. Things I'd never seen before. A lot of my old tricks didn't work because the game had changed. Some of them did. But the main thing was, it was... I don't know where the heck I am. Was that once again, for me, the vanilla game was fun. Now, this is not to say that the vanilla game was not fun when I was playing modded, but none of the changes like that I heard about content-wise were really grabbing me. Like the Frostburn update. We got magma blocks, which I use. And I think strays and husks. Strays and husks are cool. But, that's not what kind of dragged me back to wanting to play the most modern version of the game that I could. It's like, you could tell I'm doing a good job lighting the caves up, because it is an absolute... When I find the dark ones, it's a horror show. Let's get down here. Now, there are a lot of opinions on what the changes to villager trading did to the balance of the game. One of my favorites was you made mining useless. And no, they didn't. Oh my gosh, is this another iron vein? I think it is. Delightful. I'll mine this out. This will be fun. I hear the new thing that's fun, like these veins. Like, never know when you're gonna run into one. Anyway, what was my point? Oh yeah, point was definitely not everybody welcome the changes. In fact, I would even go so far to say there would be people who would have been happier if, or at least it seems that way, like if the game had never been updated beyond 1.12 or 1.8 or beta. These people are, of course, welcome to their opinions. I do not agree with them. Because honestly, like, if the game wasn't changing and living, I probably wouldn't still be playing it, right? That's me. Like, I like, things that change and continue to challenge. And one of the great things about Minecraft as the years have gone by is that not only does it continue to breathe and change, but the nature of the challenges continues to evolve. And some of that is just by virtue of the devs continuing to add new blocks. New blocks, each new block presents a new building challenge. Some more than others. Some blocks people don't like. Diorite, one of my favorites, still gets a lot of hate, but I will tell you, when we've got diorite and andesite and granite, isn't that weird? Words are weird. When we got that stuff, I built the biggest thing I'd ever built. I built this huge complex with all these little buildings for villagers, done with the different wood types and all the stuff there was. It was great. Now, one thing I remember when 1.14 came out, I was starting to really watch videos again to learn about all the things I had missed. I was still watching Etho, because Etho is just entertaining. Whether you're playing a modern version of the game or not, it's cool to see what he's up to. But I started watching a lot more, and that's when I started getting the Minecraft Stinks videos again, like I used to back in the day. That was not something I missed about playing modern Minecraft, but for I think the reasons I explained earlier, it does kind of go with the territory. Negativity is rewarded by algorithms, and pretty much anything that has a fandom is gonna have a loud group within it that is gonna be negative about where things are, where things have been. Your old man, probably. You know how it is. It's just kind of the nature of people. I remember at one point I was trying to see if the Minecraft forums had really anything to offer, and I had made a post or two on them and had gotten some responses, and I saw a bunch of complaints about why did the devs ask this on Reddit instead of the Minecraft forums? We're the true fit, and I almost replied like, oh yes, the high level of discourse and positive feedback found on the Minecraft forums. And I thought to myself, you know what, if that's the way I feel about it, I should probably get off the Minecraft forums. And I did. Now, speaking of these veins, they're not just cool. I think. They certainly are that. But they are a part of the villager rebalancing, really, like... Because, villagers are OP. And I think Mojang realizes that. Which is why they gave mining this huge buff with the ore chunks, the raw ore, like having fortune affect ore, like metal ore, instead of just your gems and powders. And stuff like this, and look at that, the raw ore blocks are underrated. Stuff like this is fun, it's fun to find a ton of iron underground. Like, this is going to mean I don't have to build an iron farm right after I build the creeper farm, because I need iron too. Villagers, for fun as they are, they needed rebalancing, and as opposed to a straight nerf, some other aspects of the game became better. Like, you don't feel like you're wasting your time mining anymore. Now, you could argue that what they're doing in the experimental features with the villagers, having, you gotta go to different biomes to, oh my gosh, this iron vein is huge. You'll have to go to different biomes to get all the enchantments you want. Some of them you might not necessarily be able to get without doing some work, and it looks like maybe even with villagers alone, it might be an issue with experience at the anvil to be able to get, visualize some air quotes, the best stuff. On the other hand, like I said, mining's better now. It's worth doing. And caving is definitely worth doing. It's not useless. You don't feel like you're wasting your time. It also has the interesting effect, I think, of making end city loot more valuable. You can get, perfect picks and stuff out there just by exploring and going through chests. Great stuff out there. But now, at least, and as it's been, by the time you get there, that stuff isn't relevant. You might pick it up to use as a backup, or if you've, rushed it and gotten to the end fast, it might be useful. But, by and large, to date, you have been always, to date, since the villager rebalancing and village and pillage, you have been better off just doing straight villagers. Getting that diamond gear from them instead of searching for it. Now, another thing they're planning on doing, they may have done it already, and it's just in the new version that I haven't updated to the snapshots through this. We're still on 0.4. See if we can find our way out of here. My understanding is that in one of the things they're trying out is just a straight increase to diamond generation, so that just mining for diamonds will be more satisfying. And that's also a good way to approach rebalancing the villagers. Anyway, the point is, they could have just nerfed villagers. But that's not the choice they made. They didn't, want to ruin everybody's fun. See how we've done here. Yeah, that's 11 more gunpowder. The more we light up those caves down there, the better we'll do. There's so many caves now. And that's another thing. Aren't the caves great? I'm telling you, I think they were worth the wait. I love the new landscape generation. We've got this nice snowy mountain over here. Bonkers cave system underneath us that just keeps going and going and going, all different sorts. I don't know if you noticed it down there, but there was a little bit of the old cave generation. That looked like what I think used to be called a small monster nest. That one kind of roundish room we were in. Just kind of looking at our yield here. We got a ton. There's still so much more down there. We'll be going back there. I almost can't talk about the way people feel about Minecraft right now, and maybe where some of this negativity might be coming from, without talking about the birch forest thing. Now, I will tell you, I got really excited when I saw that picture too. I thought it looked great. I wasn't too disappointed when it didn't come, and it may yet come someday. We did finally, get kind of a swamp update. We got the chest boats in the form of, all chest boats and also bamboo rafts, which look amazing. We got we got the frogs. We got, a bunch of different things. Also, we got the entire mangrove swamp, which, back to one of the first things that I said, with all that moss, it's almost like we got our old bright green swamps back. and that makes me pretty happy. I might build in a mangrove swamp. I might build something out there. I know where one is. Well, we'll see what happens. But the point is, what they've been doing, at least the way I have experienced it, has not only been steadily improving the way the game runs, and a lot of the problems that the game has had are getting fixed. It's being done in such a way that doesn't entirely trash what came before. And also, I got these right, okay. And also is adding new things. And it's been that way for a long time. Like when the Observer came out, it didn't break bud switches. They let bud switches in the game. I don't think we will see a change to TNT duping on servers until there's a replacement for that. They've said as much. I believe them. If you've really been paying attention, you might see that there are actually steps in that direction. The way bamboo is now, you can now swiftly farm bamboo for planks that you can use to make other wooden things out of, without resort to TNT. In fact, TNT is perhaps not the most efficient way to do it, although it is, let's be clear, really, really fun. I do have to think about what I'm going to turn this monstrosity into. This is just the guts of it. We're going to build something probably around it. Don't ask me what. I have no idea. I think another thing that's kind of kept my interest in the game and has made me enjoy it more and more is all the new things you can do. Like, I'm still learning. Like, that was not something that you did back when I started playing the game. There were other things that you did to farm creepers and mobs. This, like I mentioned before, this wasn't something you could do. Not only could you not place stairs upside down, but stairs looked god's awful in water. Because there would just be air going down here. And does this open up more possibilities and possibly create, more struggle, more option paralysis? Sure. But it also, the possibilities make things that you might not have been able to do in a way that you wanted. You can do that now. Now, one sad thing is that, with all the... I think this is true, anyway. With all the controversy about the birch forest that happened, I think Mojang has gotten real gun-shy about showing us what they want to do, and I frankly don't blame them. I would probably do the same thing. I was like, okay, if this is what's going to happen when we show something that we've been working on that might not be ready yet, maybe we are better off saying as little as possible and just introducing things. Like, we are in pre-release territory for 1.20.5. We do not yet know what 1.21's name even is. And I think that's too bad. I understand why they're doing it that way. I think it might not be that way if people had been a little bit more understanding about the birch forest. But that said, I feel like the response to it that this is just concept art, nothing we show in Minecraft Live should be that was like a Microsoft answer. That was not a great answer to that particular controversy. I think they actually made things worse by putting it that particular way. I think they could have said that a little differently. Like, this is something that we're excited to do. It's not ready yet. We have other things on the plate. We just wanted to show it because it's a really cool picture and a concept of where we might like to go with what the birch forest looks like someday. Even though we basically know very little about the next update, it is as inevitable as the tides that people are already complaining about it. And, what Minecraft has done in the last few updates, we finally got our archaeology. They should get their props for that. I feel like they haven't gotten the props. Like, they waited until it was ready, and now it's ready. We also have all this awesome armor trim. The pots are really cool. I think they look great. I've seen people use them a lot of different ways in decorative and technical builds. They got a lot of functionality. And, can we talk about the trial runs? It's like, we found one in this world, and in classic Minecraft fashion, it was right through the middle of a stronghold. But, that's what you get sometimes with random generation. Stuff's gonna be weird, but it's cool, right? It's a cool idea, and they look cool. Another thing that the game has gotten better at, generally, over the years. A lot of stuff. Could be more. I've got to change this thing around so it actually functions. Right now it does. This was not as simple as I thought. We're probably going to have to involve minecarts, but, that'll be fun. It'll be a new challenge. But anyway, that raw ore block we found down there? I have heard the complaint about the trail ruins that it makes mining for copper useless. However, what they do is signpost a lot of the new blocks and show how they might be used. We got a signpost to the raw iron block down there. Just, it's a raw iron block in the world. There are blocks that will always only be craftable, but like underneath the ancient city, that whole little redstone setup you can play with. It's probably the worst place ever to play with redstone, but it's there. And a signpost that stuff, which is not a thing that the game used to do. Now, you talk about the signposting. Another place that the signposting is really improved is with this recipe book. When my friend Lobby was learning how to play the game, they would often just look through the recipe book to see what they could craft and see what they could make. And I had heard the complaint when the recipe book came out that this made things not as fun because not knowing how to make anything, this person said, made the game more whimsical, which, first of all, is not what whimsical means. And secondly, I don't, I would make the argument that it used to be that looking at the Minecraft wiki was also playing Minecraft because you had to look at it so much. Now I know how to make most things at this point. I don't know how to make everything off the top of my head, and there are things I forget about. So the ease of accessibility with things like the recipe book and all of the signposting of things. Like, people talk about the jungle temple and the jungle temple is useless. Look at my fedora. And one of the things the jungle temple does that it doesn't give enough credit for is it signposts the use of pistons and dispensers and tripwires. That's pretty huge. And there's a lot more of that in the game now, not just with the redstone stuff in the ancient city, but with things like the raw ore blocks and all the different types of copper and tup you see in the trial chambers. And I think all of that is a really good thing. Now, I'm not going to change anybody's mind who thinks that Minecraft is terrible or thinks that Minecraft is terrible now. Anybody who thinks that is probably not still watching the video. But for those of you who are still watching, I want to thank you for listening to my ramble. I appreciate it, and as we get on to the next episode, I'm gonna be a lot less talky and a lot more dewy. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. P.S. Minecraft is good, actually.